So today, we're going to deconstruct a really fascinating business pitch for an app called Memory Place. And honestly, it is an absolute masterclass in psychology. It shows you how to turn what looks like a simple photo sharing tool into this incredibly powerful lead generation engine. But the crazy part is, the pitch doesn't start with features or benefits. Nope, it starts with a question that'll kind of make you stop and think.
See, instead of just showing you a piece of software, the pitch hooks you with this powerful what-if scenario. It takes something super personal, like a wedding, and reframes it as a professional opportunity. It immediately forces you to think outside the box. And it all kicks off with just this one question.
So, the pitch starts by painting this picture, right? It drops you right into a super emotional and social event, a wedding. This isn't about code or tech specs, it's all about real-life moments. And it's right there, in this seemingly non-commercial setting, that the whole business opportunity is born.
And then, bam, they immediately show you the sheer scale of that opportunity. Just think about it. One wedding, maybe 300 guests, and every single one of those people becomes a potential lead. It's not some fantasy. They frame it as a real, tangible thing. This one number, well, it's basically the engine driving the entire presentation. But hang on a sec. How in the world do you approach 300 strangers at a wedding? You know, just the thought of that triggers the biggest roadblock for most people in this industry. So before they even reveal the solution, the pitch does something really smart. It focuses on that exact problem. Nailing this core pain point is what makes their product seem so amazing later on. To tackle that fear, the very first thing they do is build trust. They straight up call out the industry's reputation for, pyramid schemes and junky products. Then they contrast that by pointing out that their parent company is a stable 20-year-old business. The message is crystal clear. We're not like those guys. We're legit. And here it is. This is the absolute core of the problem. Not for the big companies, but for the actual people on the ground. These are the two massive hurdles that make most people just fail. I mean, let's be honest, most people absolutely hate selling, and a lot of us are pretty terrible at recruiting. The pitch just zooms right in on this because it's such a deeply relatable feeling, right? That fear of rejection, the awkwardness of hitting up your friends and family, that's the emotional problem Memory Place is promising to solve.
Okay, so with that problem clearly defined, the pitch finally introduces its hero, Memory Place. And the strategy here is just fascinating. It presents the app as this simple, useful tool, kind of like a Trojan horse that's secretly carrying a huge business opportunity inside.
On the surface, the app is incredibly straightforward and, genuinely useful. Imagine you're at a wedding. Instead of having to chase down photos from 300 different phones, all the guests can just upload everything to one central place, in real time. It's basically a digital photo album that everyone gets to build together. Simple. And this just nails the core concept perfectly. On one hand, the app provides immediate, real value to everyone at the event. But that simple, helpful act completely masks its true purpose for the reseller. Powerful, automated lead generation. It's brilliant. All right. So here's the million-dollar question. How does a guest just sharing a selfie suddenly turn into a business lead for someone they've never even met? Well, the mechanics behind it are surprisingly simple. Check it out, it's just a 4-step process. First, the reseller sets up the Memory Place event for the host, say the bride. Then, during the wedding, guests take their photos. To upload them, they're just prompted for their name and email. And bam, just by doing something helpful for the happy couple, they've become a lead. It's literally that easy. Now this right here is the psychological genius behind the whole pitch. This is a perfect example of what's called the framing effect. See, the reason a guest gives up their contact info has nothing to do with being sold something. They're not signing up for a sales call. They think they're just helping the bride and groom collect memories. This completely reframes the entire interaction and removes all the usual friction you'd get in a sales transaction.
So what does this all actually mean for the person using the system? Well, this is where the pitch delivers its knockout punch, promising to completely get rid of those two biggest fears we talked about earlier.
I mean, you can just feel the sheer relief in that statement, can't you? It's a massive claim. The idea that the hardest, most dreaded parts of this entire business, the selling and the recruiting, are just gone. That's the ultimate promise of the Memory Place system. And here are the promises, laid out crystal clear. First, selling and recruiting, eliminated. Second, leads become yours automatically. No more awkward chasing. Third, you're creating connections through real-life moments, not cold calls. And finally, the really big one. The app is designed to make your business go viral, organically.
So after taking this entire pitch apart, from its really imaginative start to its huge promises, we're kind of left with one final thought. We've seen how it works, we've heard what it claims to do, so what does it all really boil down to?
So here's the question. Does using someone's wedding or birthday party to generate business leads create a more authentic, moment-driven connection? Or is it just a really clever new mask for the same old sales model, turning our most personal moments into commercial opportunities? That's the big question this whole pitch really leaves us with. It's definitely something to think about. Thanks for tuning in.